If you've ever wanted to make your mixes sound more polished, creative, and pro, then the tips that I'm going to show you in this video will make mixing feel like cheating. I'm going to show you 3 tricks using the DDJ-FLX4 and Rekordbox that will take your transitions to the next level. And they're all way easier than you think. We're going to take a look at pad effects and how you can easily use them to add great sounding effects to any mix. We're also going to take a look at beat jump and how using the beat jump feature can help you keep all of your mixes perfectly in phrase. And we're also going to take a look at how we can combine smart CFX with the beat effects section of the DDJ-FLX4 to make some crazy sounding and unique effects. You don't need years of practice and you don't need expensive gear. So let's get into it. Okay, so first up, we're going to take a look at one of my favorite features on the DDJ-FLX4 and in Rekordbox, and that is pad effects. Now here on the DDJ-FLX4, you actually have a dedicated pad effects button right here. And if I press this button, you'll see that inside Rekordbox, the display has changed to show pad effects instead of hot cues. So now what you see on the screen corresponds exactly with these 8 pads right here. So this pad would be a roll, this would be a sweep, this would be a flanger, and so on. Now, you can actually go into the settings of the pad effects and change them to different effects or different effect settings. But to keep things simple, I'm just going to use the stock pad effects that you can see right here on the screen. And honestly, the stock selection of pad effects sound great. So my advice is to use those first, see how you get on with them, and if you want to change them, you can. So first up, let's take a quick listen to all of these different pad effects, and then I'll show you how you can combine different pad effects to make even better sounds. So that is what each pad effect sounds like. And as you can see, you can create some really cool sounds simply by pressing these pads. It's really hands-on and I find it super fun and intuitive. Now let's take a listen to some combinations of pad effects because that really takes it to the next level. The creative possibilities are endless, even with the stock selection of pad effects. If you take a look in Rekordbox, you can click on the settings icon right here, and this is where you can then change any of the pad effects to any effect inside Rekordbox. There are so many. I like the transformer effect, the reverse roll, and phaser. But there are so many options, so I really do recommend trying some out because you're almost guaranteed to find an effect or two that you actually prefer to the stock pad effects. Not only that, but you can also go in and change the beat value for any pad effect, and you can change the amount of that effect that's being played. In other words, you can change the volume of the effect. There is so much scope for creativity here, so don't overlook pad effects because they can add so much to your sets. And by the way, if you're enjoying this lesson and you want to learn even more about using the DDJ-FLX4 properly, then I've put together some detailed, in-depth lessons that you can grab for free just by clicking the link down in the description. Next up, we're going to take a look at beat jump. On the DDJ-FLX4, each deck has its own dedicated beat jump pad mode, so let's go into those. And then as you can see on the Rekordbox screen, the display has changed to show the different beat jump values that correspond with these pads. Now, when it comes to using beat jump, really it's only useful to keep your mixes in phrase. So in other words, let's say you've got 2 tracks mixing and one of the tracks is about to go into the breakdown section, but the other is about to go into the drop. Now, obviously you don't want the drop of a track mixing with the breakdown of another. That just doesn't make any sense. But if you're smart about it, you can use beat jump to move the track that is about to go into the breakdown to the drop so that it matches with the other track that's also about to drop. And the way that you do this is you use the beat jump value of 32 beats. Now, if we take a look at the rekordbox screen, you can see that it doesn't actually say 32. So what you need to do is you need to press this right arrow here twice until you see 32 appear in the bottom right. And now what this means is that on both decks, we have 32 beats backwards here and 32 beats forwards here. And we've got the same on this deck. 32 beats backwards is this pad and 32 beats forward is this pad. Now, when it comes to using beat jump in this way, I only ever use 32 beats. So when I go into the beat jump pad mode, these are the only 4 pads that I use. So it makes using it super easy. I can go into the beat jump pad mode and I know which pads I need to use. If I need to move back 32 beats on the right deck, I use this one. If I need to move forward 32 beats on the left deck, then I use this one. So here on the left deck, I've got a tech house track where I have the hot cue set at the first kick drum. Now, if you take a look at the overview waveform of the entire track on the left deck, you can see that the song has peaks and troughs, just like any dance music track. There is a breakdown section right here. There is a drop section right here. There is another breakdown section here, and there is a second drop section here. The track is currently right at the first kick drum at the beginning of the track. Now, if I go into the beat jump pad mode and I press forward 32 beats, you'll see the playhead marker on the overview waveform move forward to the middle of the intro of the track. Now, if I press it one more time, we're now right at the beginning of the first breakdown. If I press it again, we're now halfway through the breakdown. If I press it again, we're now right at the drop of the track. So you could see how this could be really useful. Beat jump will move through the track by your desired amount and it will keep the track perfectly in time. So when you're mixing 2 songs and you want both of them to line up on, say, the second drop or the second breakdown, all you need to do is use beat jump to jump around the track to make sure it lines up to where you want it. Now let's mix these 2 tracks and I'll show you exactly how it works. Beat jump is crazy powerful, especially when you're mixing dance music. Once you've used it a few times, you'll quickly learn how you can use beat jump to keep all of your mixes perfectly in phrase, so that 2 tracks drop at the same time or go into the breakdown at the same time. And this is going to hugely tidy up your mixes. And for our final trick, I'm going to show you how you can combine 2 different styles of effects. We're going to combine beat effects with the Smart CFX feature. Now, Smart CFX are baked in combination effects that are inside rekordbox. So if I hold down Shift and press the Smart CFX button, you can see all of the different options for Smart CFX. These are all combination effects. So for example, if we take Vaporize, Vaporize pitches down the track, applies a filter, and also applies some distortion. Let's take a quick listen. So there's a lot going on there. There's probably 3 or 4 different effects that you can trigger by just turning that dial with the Vaporize Smart CFX. But you can also use the beat effects section to add another effect on top. And as long as you use it correctly, it's not overpowering and it can actually sound good. So now let's take a listen to Vaporize combined with the Transformer effect. When used right, this can just add another layer on top of the Smart CFX. This time, let's take a listen to the Phantom Echo Smart CFX combined with reverb. Inside Rekordbox, there are so many options for effects. If we click this drop-down menu, these are all of the options that you can use with the beat effects section of the DDJ-FLX4. So the possibilities here really are endless. So those are my 3 hacks to make mixing on the DDJ-FLX4 feel way more creative and way smoother. Don't forget, if you want to take your learning even further, then I've got 3 in-depth lessons that you can grab for free using the link in the description. And there will also be a link to my full DDJ-FLX4 Beginner to Pro course. Even if you're brand new to DJing, my course will take you from complete beginner to DJing with confidence in no time. Again, the link is in the description. Now, if you want to learn how to mix 6 different genres in 3 minutes using your DDJ-FLX4, then you really should check out this video right here where I break it down in full. I'll show you how to plan, prepare, and then execute a full mix using nothing but your creativity and your controller.